sense.
Into today's video, I want to remind you guys to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't. Also, go down into the description below, and if you'd like a free advertising trial with Hometown Dumpster Rentals or Hometown Junk Removal, there's a 1-month free trial down below in the description, good until April of 2022. Try it out. We love them, and they're offering you guys a deal, basically a deal of a lifetime. The other thing I'd like to tell you is down in the description, if you'd like to try our software, Docket, there's a link to a free trial of that also down there for all you dumpster guys. Let's get into the video. What is up, everybody? It is Life's Apprentice coming at you guys with a dumpster video. I've written down some ideas and taken some ideas from comments, and I kind of have a nice little list of things, videos that I have not made that are, regarding the dumpster business, and this is going to be one that I get asked fairly often. As you can see, it's a beautiful, crisp winter day. We just got some snow, and it's about 20 degrees, and it's sun shining. It's actually a pretty nice day. So today's video is going to be how to find storage for your dumpsters or your truck or your trailer or your roll-off truck, basically your dumpster equipment. And the best place to store your dumpsters is in your customer's driveway. That being said, ourself included, and every dumpster business is going to have dumpsters sitting around at some point in time, and you're going to need a place to store those. Now, where we store our dumpsters was kind of grandfathered in. When we bought the business, we already had the storage facility where we keep it. Now, where we keep our dumpsters is a diesel mechanic shop, which is pretty convenient because he works on our trucks and is able to help and fix us if things break, and they do. So something you might want to keep in mind as far as a convenience factor is if you can find somebody to store dumpsters like we have, it's very convenient, very convenient. Now, that's not always going to work. The guy that we store at stores boats and campers and stuff like that. So that's something you want to look for. If there is people storing boats, storing campers, stuff like that outside, maybe just knock on a few doors and ask them. Not all these people are you going to find on the internet or even in the shed behind me. I store boats and campers and things like that. So some of these people aren't out advertising for storage, and you might actually have to ask a few people. But that's where you want to start looking. Now, there is many storage facilities out there that are gated, have fences around them, and you're going to have to pay, almost certainly anywhere you go, you're going to have to pay to store your dumpsters. But look up outside storage, camper storage, boat storage. Look that up. Try to find some places that are, close by, and just start knocking on some doors. The other option, like us here, we're blessed. We have 5 acres of land, and we have parking here. So we're able to keep some dumpsters here and the trucks and everything here. But once we got, at a certain scale, even if you have a few acres or, an old farmette or something like that, once you get to a certain scale, you're going to have to probably branch out and find somewhere to store your dumpsters. Now, when you're thinking about storage, no matter where you go, ideally you want the storage for your dumpsters to either be close to your house or where you're starting out every morning. Like we start out at my house every single morning. So somewhere close to your house, close to the dump, or close to your customers. And if you can kind of find somewhat of a central location in between all of those things, you're going to be a lot better off logistically. Now, everyone's situation is going to be a little bit different. The size of your town, the population, if you're in big city. We're in rural farm country, so there's plenty of open space. You just need to find it. I would imagine if I went around to some of the farms around here, some of my neighbors with bigger areas, I could probably find a place to store dumpsters. and pay a farmer, 500 bucks or whatever per year, and just have access to those dumpsters all the time. Now, when you do something like that, or even where we store our dumpsters, they're not secured. So you want to make sure that they're kind of out of sight, because otherwise you're going to have people illegally dumping in them in the middle of the night. One thing that I would try to stay away from is I would try to avoid storing your dumpsters at a storage facility where the people who have the storage lockers have access to your dumpsters, because if they go in and clean out a storage locker, they're just going to fill up your dumpsters. Now, the other option is to buy real estate. Real estate is a great thing if you can afford it. We're actually going to be moving that way, hopefully in the near future. Instead of paying rent on something, we can pay a mortgage and gain equity on real estate, which should appreciate. But again, you have to be at a certain scale to be able to afford something like that. I would say for any of you guys looking for storage, it really should not be that hard. You should have maybe family, a friend, or a friend of a friend, or friend of family that may have a place for you. And just kind of start there. You're going to have to knock on some doors. You're going to have to make some phone calls and try to figure out logistically what makes sense and financially what makes sense. You might be able to work out some sort of a deal, some sort of a trade. Maybe you trade a dumpster every year for your storage, or services, or something along those lines. But there's so many storage facilities out there, and if you're having trouble finding them, you're probably just looking in the wrong place. So as far as finding the storage, like I said, you're going to have to knock on some doors. You're going to have to do some research and try to figure out what works for you. By far, the best place to store dumpsters, in your customers' driveways. Let's get into how much you should be paying for dumpster rental storage or vehicle trailer storage. I would say most places around here, and this is going to vary in all parts of the country and depending on where you're storing, but I would say a fair price for an area that would hold like 2 dumpsters or your truck and your trailer, about $50 a month is going to be pretty normal across the board, I would say, for outside storage. We're pretty lucky. When we started, we were paying $600 a year, $50 a month for 10 dumpsters, and now we're paying about $2,400 a year for 40 dumpsters. And you could say we're getting a good deal. You could say maybe we got lucky. You just really have to go out there and look. I think that the deals are out there, and if you had extra space in your yard and didn't mind people bringing dumpsters, an extra $1,000 or more a year to have 6 or 8 dumpsters sit around in space that you weren't using, I think most people would take that. So if you can find somebody that is, kind enough and nice enough to allow you to store dumpsters like that, take care of them for using their space. And if you have 6 dumpsters, 10 dumpsters, something like that, and you're spending $1,000 a year, I would say you're doing pretty good. If you have 6 dumpsters and maybe you have to buy 3 $50 a month spaces to potentially house all 6 of them at a time, that's what I think you can expect. This is totally going to vary place to place, state to state, city to city. So, but I would say $50 a month for 2 dumpsters is pretty normal across the board. I hope that helps. If you guys have questions, let me know down in the comments. Just a quick video. If you're in a big city and you're not in more of a rural area, or you don't have outskirts of the town, you're probably going to have a lot harder time finding decent, cheap storage as in other situations. But that's it for this one. Leave a comment, hit the like button if you liked it, hit the notification bell, and subscribe. A lot of you guys are not subscribed. I'd really appreciate it. It helps me out a lot, helps me build the channel. That is it for this one. We will see you on the next one.